Right. 3, 2, 1. What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze tonight?
In the House of Craze tonight, we are going to be talking to a friend of the show, a very good friend of the show. Her name is Laurie. Her last name, Calcaterra. Her book, Path of the Pale Rider, and it's a Kickstarter right now. Plus, we're going to be talking about the highlights of our time in San Antonio, and I'll say the highlight was probably the River Walk. Well, we'll talk about it in just a few minutes.
That's what I'm talking about. We got to canoodle. Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most said, the crazy man, Vera, and I am with
George, the dreamer, Medina. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. It is Tuesday night, June 25th, 8 p.m. You know where you at. What up? We're back. Back together again because Sam did the show last week. What's up, everybody? If you haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're in the chat, what's up? Hit the like button. If you are watching this on the rewatch, hit the like button. Subscribe. Share the video out. We have a very very fun guest tonight. We always have a good time with Laurie, so she's going to be talking to us about her hot book, Path of the Pale Rider.
Hot Sauce.
Great book.
Yeah, that was my nickname.
Hot sauce.
That was my nickname in high school.
Oh, easy.
Hot sauce.
Let's not start. We are going to be talking to her today, and we're also going to be talking about what just happened at the Superhero Comic-Con.
Okay, so
in
superhero.
San Antonio.
I didn't see any heroes, but yeah, it's going to be interesting.
We're going to talk about it. But that's what's going on today. What's up with you, Sam? I know. Listen, we spent about 4 or 5 days together with you. It was you. It was Jonathan Syfax. It was Anibal Arroyo. It was all of us.
Something special.
Hanging out was special. It was very special. But what else is going on? So I know the next stop for you is going to be something going on in July.
Texas Latino Comic Con. Chapulín, yeah. Texas Latino Comic Con. That's my next stop. I'm looking forward to this. It took me 2 years to get an invite. It's an invite only. So I know I got the invite. I feel like an honorary member. I feel special. They're making me feel special. So I'm excited about that. Was there dancing in the parking lots? There you go. That's it. No. There was dancing.
There was dancing.
Yeah, they were dancing. We should be dancing. Yeah. What's up, Valor Comics in the house? Yes. So I'm excited. Hey, Aurelis in the house. What's up? Lou in the house. Hugo's in the house. ASAP. Everybody's in the house. Nice.
Hades is in the house.
Yeah, Hades. What's up? Hades is like beast mode, man. Every day there's a new promo. This guy's like
he is the nomad tour man. He does these nomad tours.
Comic-Con tailgate parties. There you go.
So big shout out to Hades, man, and his nomad tours. All right, so
carry on. I'm getting ready for a Texas Latino Comic Con. It's exciting. It's a 1-day show. It's a short drive away. I'm trying to branch out and network here in Texas, and I'm building relationships with a lot of things. And this is like one step towards something else, and more to come after the event. That's coming down the pike. And then after that, I have Bell County Comic Con. Which I'm surprised I don't even have it there. So I have Bell County Comic Con in August. That's going to be fun. I looked at the YouTube videos from last year. That place was jam packed. And it's, it's comic centric, which is exactly what I am looking for. And then from there, then it's Cowtown Comic Con, College Station Comic Con, and I believe it's Denton Comic Art Expo. So I have 5 more shows for the year so far. Yeah. It may be a sixth one somewhere in December. Not sure yet.
You love it. You love it.
Yeah. But I got that going on. The 7th edition of A Kid in a Comic. There's an Alien on My Toilet drops. So that was pretty cool. So if you don't know, Duty is a comic strip and A Kid in a Comic, published by A Kid in a Comic, and the 7th issue. So I had 7 issues in the comic strips in the paper, and it's just an exclusive comic strip newspaper, which is fantastic. So that one dropped, and so that's pretty cool. End of Zed. What's up?
What up, Ed? Man.
Yes, you're gonna hear about it. So that's what's going on there. Still grinding in the background, working on some stuff. Yeah. What about you, bro? Oh, and if you haven't done so already, you don't know what it is. You don't know what it is your boy does. Go over to dutiesworld.com today and check out the website for more information about Duty.
Yeah, no, for sure. Next month, actually, the same day that you're going to be at the what is it? The expo that you're doing, I will be at Plastic City Comic Con.
That's right.
In Leominster, I believe, Leominster, Massachusetts. Is that how you say that? I guess from 10 to 5 p.m. And admission is $10. Kids under 12 get in for free. And this is a comic book convention. Big shout out to Keith Gleason, who put this together. It's a one-day show. I'll be there actually vending this time. I'm not just going to be walking around.
Wow, that's a milestone for you, bro.
And I'm rolling out there with Mr. Jonathan Syfax.
That's even crazier.
He will be the road dog. He's going to be out there with me. So big shout out to Johnny. But yeah, no, it's going to be that. And then, so Wicked Comic Con. I've been talking about Wicked Comic Con.
You're the drummer, yeah, Wicked.
We do this every week. Wicked Comic Con is coming up, and that's going to be in August. If you haven't done so yet, go to wickedcomiccon.com and purchase your tickets. Now, what they've done is, if you're a guest or a vendor at the show, they have given us promo codes. So if you are going to the Wicked Comic Con in Boston, that's happening in August.
Boston.
Yeah, when you check out, when you buy your tickets and check out, if you type in "Get Your Meds" with a Z, if you type that in,
yeah, man,
that's a promo code. You will get 10% discount on those tickets. So make sure you go there.
Do you have that on your website as well?
I will be putting that up on the website. I'm updating that after the show, actually.
Okay.
Awesome, Brandon. Yeah, if you haven't bought your ticket, are you going to be vending, or are you going as an attendee? If you are going as an attendee and you haven't bought tickets, buy the tickets, check out, type in "Get Your Meds" as your promo code, and you will get 10% discount on the tickets. Oh, vending. All right. Awesome, dude. Awesome.
What's up, Will?
Yo, Will, what up? We saw William there. He knows what's up. He knows what
happened. He knows the story we're about to tell.
But yeah, so those are happening. I'm also going to be doing Baltimore Comic Con, and then I'll end the year at New York Comic Con. I'm trying to head up to New Hampshire for I think it's Granite Comic Con or Kids Comic Con, one of the two up in New Hampshire. We'll see what
yeah, I couldn't do a Kids Comic Con. They invited me to do a Kids Comic Con in Katy, Texas, but it conflicted. Yeah, it conflicted. Which is in Houston. It conflicted with the Superhero Comic Con, so I couldn't do it.
Yeah. And also, I just wanted to. So I've been doing a lot of lettering for a lot of our indie creator friends, and big shout out to Laurie Cunningham, who has a book. Yeah. Oh, nice. Who has a book called Sister Grimm, and I will be lettering that book. She's got a Kickstarter that's going to be launching in July 15th. So if you haven't, if you check out ASAP Imagination, go check out Sister Grimm. The first 2 issues are on there, and she's working on the Kickstarter for the next one. So check that out. But yeah, dude, I've been busy with the lettering. I've been busy with, obviously traveling to all these conventions. Going out there to San Antonio was a good time, only because you guys were there. Otherwise, woo.
Ooh, I think we got to tell that story, right? So it's like we're gonna need some medicine in order to do that. So let's get it.
medicine.
So once upon a time, four comic lads traveled across the country to a superhero Comic Con, only to find out that there were no superheroes. Dun, dun, dun.
Dude. All right. So part of what we're going to talk about is gonna segue, not segue, but it's going to include, what to look for
Word.
when you're doing conventions,
Word.
right? As a vendor, and even as an attendee. The things to look for when you're going to do a convention, and I mean this is big for our indie friends. So Sam, talk to me, bro.
First of all,
holla at me.
Who's your A&R mountain climber who plays an electric guitar? Anyway, so so I was excited for this event, right? I heard so much about it from so many people. I looked at videos from the previous year. It was jam-packed. It was popping. I didn't see the warning signs because I didn't think to look at the warning signs. Hindsight, right? We look back, reflections, post-mortem. We're like, oh, damn, warning sign was all over the place. We just didn't pick up on it. So I was like, all right, let's do it. It was expensive. The table was expensive. It was probably the most, it exceeded my budget that I would normally pay for a table, right? So I was like, I'm still going to do it because I know I'm going to get a return on investment. This is my thing. Superhero Comic Con, the crowd's going to be there. I'm all in. Let's go, right? The boys, they said, hey, you know what? We're going to head out there, roll out there, support you, brother. And we're going to go and rock out with you. And it's like, oh, that's even amazing, right? That's why it made me feel even more bad after I tell you this story. So anyway, we go out there, right? And then I'm setting up, man. I'm getting all the bells and whistles, right? I got new setups. I got new stickers and prints and all this stuff, whatever. We go out there. It was easy. I pulled up. It was easy to get to the booth and set up, but then you start noticing things, right? First was the space was tight, right? And the 6-foot table was narrower than normal 6-foot tables by at least 3 inches, 2.5 to 3 inches. I mean, I had my gridded risers, storage units, sticking out of the table, and only 2 grids.
Well, I'm like, we do have to say Sam does not travel light. You know what I mean? Sam brings the house. No, but I'm saying but it's good because you don't know who's going to buy what, right?
You don't know who's going to buy what. Yes.
Right. So that was part of the whole problem, was how small the table was because of what you had. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm always prepared no matter what. And, because I want to be able to make sure that I cater to everybody, not just a specific group of people. And so, set up the whole bit, and we're excited. We get there Thursday, 6-foot table, 2x4 measurements. Yeah, it was horrible.
Wednesday. We got there Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. And so then Wednesday night, we go, we hang out, we have a great time, right? We're partying, we're excited. We're not even thinking about the table and how tight it is. And, I had to try something new, right? Based on the layout. And then first day comes, and we're like, yo, what's up with this? What's going on here? Where's the crowd? Right? So, I mean, what you saying? Here's your plank of wood. Yes. I heard that Texas Con was awesome. I may go next year. I don't know what Texas Con. I don't know what Texas Con is. But
Fan Expo, maybe? One of the Fan Expos.
Well, it may be called Texas Con. I don't know. There's so many.
Yeah. There's so many
Texas Comic Con, East Texas, North Texas, South. Here, con, there con, everywhere, con. So Thursday comes and we're like, whoa, what's going on? Right. So Thursday was a moderate day. So I was like, all right, it's a Thursday. It's a 4th day. I wasn't expecting much, but you know what? I was like, oh, if we did this Thursday, Friday's gonna be killer, right? Yeah. But then we start noticing things. Friday comes. Nobody's walking the floor. And Friday was painful. And then we realized they had another building where hundreds and thousands of people were lined up to go to that building because it was free autographs, celebrities, and gaming.
Yeah.
So they weren't coming in. So that was problem number 1. Problem number 2, I started picking up on it. There were no comic creators. It was about a dozen of us, right? Everything was memorabilia Everything was like it would be a lot of print artists. There were a lot of anime print artists, but not too much comic. It says Superhero Comic Con. You would think there would be a lot more comic creators, especially well known. They had Arthur Adams and David Finch, who were sitting in Artist Alley. They weren't spotlighted, they weren't interviewed, they weren't on panels, right? So it's like here are some legends in the game. Leverage them, right? They weren't. It was all about the celebrity. And they had the celebrity interviews in the same arena as Artist Alley, but when they broke, they didn't walk down into Artist Alley. They walked right out the side doors, right? So that was another problem. So it was just like problem after problem. Then we started realizing it was $100 to get in for one day. If you want the weekend pass, it was $250. If you had the VIP pass, it was $500.
$500.
And then you pay for the celebrities that they had to pay to see, which is starting at $300 and up. Right? So if you're a family of 4,
it's a wrap.
And you're coming in for a day, that's $400. I don't know if the kids were 50% off. I don't know what the rate was, but you're spending a few $100s. So everybody was very mindful of their spend, right? If they weren't getting an autograph, there was something they were intentionally looking for, whether it was a Funko Pop, a collectible, or specific artist they already had in mind. So they weren't willing to rear off and explore new creatives because they spent so much money. Then the food, it was $10 a burger, $10 for a slice of pizza, so everything was so expensive and it was out pricing. And so it was a brutal event. I mean, we had to fight for every sale. I never worked so hard to sell a comic book. It was easy. The prints and the stickers sold themselves, but comics it was hard to push the comic because it was the art that was driving the event. But it was painful. They were painful. I'll tell you how painful it was. It was so painful. The guys went out into the town.
I was just gonna say that.
There was no reason for them to hang out because nothing was happening.
Right.
I fell asleep at my booth because there was nobody coming. I was at there, and then I woke up. I was like, "Yo, how long was I out?"
Yeah,
how painful it was.
It was bad, dude. And to add to that, the hours were terrible. Like it was from 12 to 8. From 12 to 8, the cost was from 12 to 8 on Thursday, okay, which is fine because they opened up a little later, 12 to 8, okay. But then Friday, Saturday, it was 10 to 8.
Yes.
10 to 8 p.m. And then on Sunday, it was what, 10 to 5:30. So the hours were just out of control. Like these were just long days, and there was nobody walking the floor because it's the way they set up the place, right? You, like Sam said, you had a building outside of where we are, so they have to walk outside in that heat. They ain't walking back out into the heat to get back into this building. It was hot.
Yes,
it was hot. And they had Leah Thompson was signing up free autographs. Peter Weller, RoboCop, was signing free autographs. They had a couple more celebrities in there. They had a whole, like you said, they had a whole arcade. They had their own food stations in there. They were giving away, you bought the popcorn tins, and then you had free refills the entire weekend. So like there was no reason to leave that place. Right. Then you had to park the car like Brooklyn, a mile away from the freaking place.
Brooklyn, and hike
in the heat. People were going into the first building they could find. You know what I mean? Yeah. And for $100, I felt like you were not getting a bang for your buck. We walked the floor, and it's a 4-day show. You figure, well, I'm going to need 4 days to see this. No, I must have walked that floor like 50 times. Just around and around and around. And you said 12 comic book creators. I think they might have been 6.
Right.
Like there really weren't like any indie creators with their comics. And Eli made a good point. It looked like a flea market.
Yeah.
It was more of a flea market.
It was like it was one of the, they should call it Celebrity Con because it's not a Comic Con. It is definitely not a Comic Con. It's more memorabilia. It should be celebrity and gifts con or whatever it is. But one of the things so here's what happens with indies, right? Or with anybody, right? Day one, slow, you start justifying, well, it's Thursday, I didn't expect much, Friday's going to be great. Then Friday comes, then midway Friday, like, well, you know what, they say Saturday's going to be big, so you talk about Saturday, right? Every day was like that pattern of just torturing yourself, right? And so not only that, but telltale signs when, like in my aisle, no one ever really walked that aisle, that entire aisle. So you have these anime artists and these creatives, they're closing up shop at 5 o'clock and leaving every day.
Yeah.
You had on Saturday, an indie create an anime. She had an amazing booth, amazing artwork, amazing stuff. She packed up on Saturday afternoon and broke out. She says, "I'm out of here. This is not worth it." There was a guy. What was the guy's name? He had like 3 tables. He had all this stuff, and he was furious. He said, "I should."
Bun. Big shout out to Bun.
He was pissed.
Bun was tight.
Yes.
I said to Bun, I said, this shouldn't have been 4 days. He said, this shouldn't have been 2 days. I shouldn't be here. Like he was upset. And to lose point, the ticket was essentially paying for the free autographs.
Yes.
There was nothing free. You know what I'm saying? That's insulting to creators and a slap. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's a comic con.
It's not a comic con. It's not a con. It's a celebrity event.
In the name. You know what actually kind of put me like, I was like, wait a minute. When I went on their website, and the first thing you saw on their website was all the celebrities they were going to have at the show, which Jake Gyllenhaal didn't even show up because he had COVID.
Nah, he was in Miami surfing.
So the people who bought tickets to go see Jake Gyllenhaal probably hopefully got their money back and didn't even bother coming back to the show because what was the point?
Yeah.
But yeah, so when you went on their website before we got there, it was all celebrities, dude. And when I went to look to see who was in Artist Alley, who else was there, it wasn't even on the website. I had to send them an email to say, hey, are you guys going to put who's going to be at the show other than these celebrities? Oh, yeah, we're working on putting that on, in the next couple of days. The show was a week away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, obviously, it wasn't going to be one of those shows where like they were going to be pushing.
Yeah.
And then they had the panels in an open area within Artist Alley. So like they had set up a bunch of tables and
what was it, celebrity interviews? Yeah,
there was celebrity interviews. They were setting them up. They had a bunch of tables and they had a stage set up in the back. So that everybody was walking to the back to see these interviews, and then they were going about their business. They weren't stopping to do anything else. They were running past the booth to go check that out.
Add insult to injury, they hired a marketing specialist,
right?
And they did not take any of his advice or consultation at all.
Yeah.
Explain that, George.
So apparently, I was talking to one of the vendors there, and apparently, and this is hearsay, so it may be wrong, but they said that when they spoke to the when this marketing, with this person that was setting up the floor, and then he said to the showrunners, I don't think you need 4 days. I think 3 days is enough. And he was like, no, we're going to do a 4th day. We're going to add a 4th day. So they did. When they talked about, where they would put certain things, he insisted on putting, the free autographs or whatever somewhere else. That doesn't work. It doesn't work for us. You're pulling the people out of the building. Yep. JD has the question. I don't know, and I don't know. Maybe you can answer that. Did the con mention there was a second building when you booked it?
Apparently, that second building the previous year was used for cars. So it was the Superhero Comic Con and car show. They didn't have cars this year, so I guess they needed to do something with that building, which is why they decided to do that free thing. And because the pricing was so high, they needed to justify something and give something away. My thing was, if you have Comic Con in your title, why didn't you have anything comic related? Why didn't you have any panels around breaking into comics, publishing comics, creating comics in the AI generation? All these things, interviews with the Arthur Adams, a legend. How long are we going to have Arthur Adams around, right? David Finch, right? Bring these guys on stage, get people there was nothing around comics at all. And I sent them an email, said, please remove Comic Con out of your title because you're not a Comic Con. And it's frustrating because you're sold on the hype. Last year, they benefited from, I guess they had the Game of Thrones actors and whatever, so it was just crowded, jam-packed or whatever, and so it went to their heads, and they just and this is what happens with the big shows. They focus on the celebrities and they forget about the reason why Comic Cons existed was because of the comic book creators.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, warning signs, price of admission. If it's too high, it's not going to be a good show. If it's only focused on celebrities, that's not a show for you. Right. Look at those things because they're going to tell you whether or not you should go. If it's pop culture centric, it might not be a show for you.
This is their website.
Yeah, it's all the celebrities on the website. Orlando Bloom, Chris Pine, all these guys. There was where are the comic guys?
Yeah. No, it's also, look at the celebrities were like it was all celebrities, dude.
Yeah, it's not worth it. So I was thinking about it, and we were talking about all the things that are in play. This is not, the warning signs were there. I didn't see the warning signs. Now I'm very aware. So now I look at whether or not it's going to be a right fit.
Booth size, table
Both sides.
size, yeah, all that.
Yeah, I mean, it was just.
I mean, price of admission is big. Price, and I know. Listen, I know these conventions are getting more and more expensive. They just are.
They don't need. How many they have? Like 40 celebrities. You don't need 40 celebrities.
They had so many celebrities.
That's why it's so expensive, because they got to pay all that overhead.
Pay them, yeah, of course. They got to pay the celebrities. They got
you all that. Say bring one headliner if you want to bring it from a movie that's currently in, and then bring a headliner in the comic game.
Yeah,
and then bring somebody from the anime world, and then and you know what I'm saying, bring it all in, and have it playing field.
They could have used that room for panels if they wanted to.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. They could have just set it up for panels. That other building, not just the room, that other building.
Yeah, I mean, but it was just a miss on their part. I mean, the only thing that was good about the event was hanging out. I mean, I think every day we went to the Riverwalk. We had some great food.
Yeah.
And
big shout out to Jason Salazar.
Yeah,
who showed up at the show, and he was a gracious host. Even though he's from Houston, but he took us out the first night, and was great. He was great.
He was fantastic. He's funny. He's fantastic.
Great stories.
Good drinking partner. We had some really good old fashions. Jason got me beat when it comes to that, but it was great. We had a great time. A lot of good stuff. I almost came home with a puppy. So when you guys left,
so many dogs, bro.
When we pulled out of the hotel parking lot when we were leaving on Sunday,
I saw him
on Monday. Yeah, So I stopped my car. I stopped my car, and I was getting ready to walk out, but these dudes started walking towards my car. And it was a shady area, and they were walking beeline towards me. I was like, and it's not like I didn't have what I had on my side, but I was like, no, it's not worth it. I'm going home. I was like, sorry. He looked healthy. He looked strong. Obviously, he's somebody, but he doesn't have a collar, no nothing. He's eating out of the street. But he was too far away for me to grab him. I said, by the time I reach him, they're gonna probably reach me and try to get my car keys. I was like, yo, I'm out.
That was their dog.
I was like, I don't want to get locked up in a Texas jail. I was like, I'm out of here.
The first day we got there, we got there before you. We went to get lunch, and the only place we can get lunch was a place called Ball Hogs.
Oh.
We went in there. We had some chicken. It was it was like we didn't know where we were, bro. There was nobody in there. You know what I mean? Like we definitely were not in the best part of town.
No, talk about the comic store that had bars on the doors, and the guy what he had behind the counter.
He had a shotty. He wasn't messing with nobody.
You won't buy some
comics? You
better buy two.
We definitely in Texas. Yes. My man had a shotty behind the counter just in case any one of us got unruly.
Yes.
Yeah, it was different. It was
different. On the door.
It was
you were in a tough neighborhood. Bars on the door.
There was a Bonds. There was a bail bonds place right in the corner, right on the corner. So you know how it was different.
Different. I remember I went to the gas station when I was leaving to drive home, and I locked my doors because all of a sudden you see some sketch guys at the gas station walking around looking at cars. So I had my hand on my side, because you know what I got, and so I'm like, all right, okay. And so I just stood there. The gas was loaded. Then I unlocked the car, jumped in. I was like, out. I'm out. Don't stay there too long.
Oh man,
it's crazy.
Man. It was a good time. You know what though? The last night was good. We had a good time.
We had our own floor.
We had our own floor.
We had ghosts.
Our own dining room. We had some ghosts.
We had some ghost
stories.
Man.
It was good. I mean, it was really good. The night that we went to the Irish pub and we were
singing all night.
We were singing.
Right.
It was good.
It was a good time.
We made the best out of it.
That vlog will come out in a couple of weeks because the vlog that's coming out will be the Comic Palooza vlog, which will be coming out this weekend. But a couple of weeks after that, the vlog for Superhero Comic Con and everything behind the scenes. You're not going to want to miss this one. It is lit. But it was a great time. Just hanging out with the dudes. Another lesson learned is that when you have 4 dudes in the room, you need another bathroom. So, next time we do it, we're going to get an Airbnb, right? It's like, it's no bueno.
That sofa bed was lumpy, bro. Holy cow.
I don't like sofa beds at all.
It was bad business.
Yeah, it was.
It was good. It was good. It was good. It was a good time. It was
Yeah,
definitely a good time. So
we had some fun. So I think right about now we're gonna bring in our guest, but I will remind you guys, yo, your boy has an art channel, and if you haven't
yo,
subscribed, here's a reason to. What's up, Laurie Calcaterra? Drinking on the job.
what's in that mug?
Here's all my readers.
Years of my readers.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, no.
up.
What's in the mug? Now what's on the mug?
Oh, just water.
Okay. You made that look real suspect. Laurie
I was like-
Calcaterra, welcome to Catch the
Why,
Craze.
thank you. I love being on this show. How are you guys?
Oh,
We're good.
Doing all right?
We are good. How are you? How are you?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
we missed you in San Antonio.
I know. I was gonna Photoshop myself into one of your pictures and like repost and be like, "Here, I fixed it."
You should.
But
I'm
I
going to
just
get my
didn't
lips.
see.
I can get my lips.
The saying
was
of the
funny.
motto of today, or "Where is my lips?"
Where's my
Where's-
lips?
Where's
Yes.
my lips?
Yes.
Good time.
Oh, Laurie. So you've been doing you've been making your rounds. You've been on a few podcasts.
Yeah.
I saw you on JD Rosario's podcast. You were
Yep.
on Calderon's podcast.
I was on. Yep.
I'm sure I missed a few others that you were on.
Yeah.
How's it been? Are you getting used to it? Like I know, listen, for those who don't know, Laurie Calcaterra has a Kickstarter right now for Path
I
of the
do.
Pale Rider. The link is in the show notes. And every time you have a Kickstarter, you go on this podcast tour.
I do.
Yeah.
Does
My
it get
family
easier?
kisses me goodbye in the evenings. They're like,
You're gone. Is it getting easier? Are you getting tired of it? What's going on? How you feeling?
it's I want to explain it. I'm friends with so many of the podcasts at this point. It's like I get to hang out with my friends and talk about comics. So I have a great time. It's just, Kickstarters are an emotional roller coaster. It's like real high out the gate and then it plateaus and then it goes high again and there's cancellations and then you're pushing and pushing and pushing and all the algorithms work against you at this, So it's just it's like bashing your head against the wall to see progress. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm smack dab in the middle and just banging my head and screaming into the void looking for backers, but they're there and I know they're out there. I talked to 2 last night that are like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna totally back you." And then it's like, well, someday would be good. What did that say? How does George come
How
back
does
from
George
Texas
come back from
skinny?
Texas skinny? Sam and Laurie should know of places to go eat.
George can eat. So George can eat. George was downing some grub. I mean, he had at one time, and you'll see it on the vlog, he had 2 plates.
Oh, I'm
So
on
I'm just-
Don't call him out like that.
I didn't know, Laurie. I didn't know.
He was like, I ordered this and this, and it's just a full plate came.
Listen,
Wait,
I ordered a salad, and then I
just have a salad.
ordered my steak. Right? I had no
that's
idea.
not me. I'm like, I want the burrito.
Well, listen, when they say everything's bigger in Texas, they weren't.
It is.
That salad was huge. I was like,
it was a chicken
it gave me
avocado
chicken.
salad. It was like
Yes.
this big, and then he
It
had
was
his
Big as your
steak
face.
and potatoes.
And
And
then
I
And
was like,
potatoes, and they're like, "Here's your side of tacos, sir."
oh,
it was nuts.
crazy.
It's nuts.
It's Texas. It's Texas.
But going back to your Kickstarter, yes, it's true. It is a roller coaster ride that
Mhm.
you ride and you do it for 30 days, right? You have your-
This campaign is 22 days.
okay, so you shortened it a little bit.
Yeah, I shortened issue 4, and then we did perfectly fine. And so it's this double-edged sword because you're worried that if you cut days down that you're going to miss out on backers, but really that plateau that's in the middle, you're cutting that out. That's really what you're doing because people usually come at the beginning and they come at the end and they kind of straggle in the middle. So if you cut out that middle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you have a beginning and you have an end and you just have less of a plateau. At least that is the theory. So we did I think 21 days for issue number 4. I can't remember how many days we did for the trade paperback, but it was 20 something and then 22 on this one. Just because when I launched, I wanted to hit a couple. The way I structure mine is to hit a couple paydays.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So we usually, right around the 15th and then the 1st of the month. But because of the 4th of July, it's a holiday. And so the payday's a little weird. So we pushed it out until I think the 7th. So we end on a Sunday, which is different for us. But hey, we'll try it out. You never know.
See, I think the strategy of having a shorter campaign works when you've
When
you've
you have an
done a few
audience.
of them. Yeah, when you've done a few of them, and it's almost like, hey, it's a call to action. Got to come
Yeah.
out here. When it's your first campaign, I think
That's
you
different.
need the 30 days. I think
Yeah.
you need the time to build.
Yes.
To even know, because when you're posting online, barely anybody knows. Those
Right.
posts come out like weeks later, and it's like, oh, I missed it.
Yeah, and the algorithm is a thing because I when I'm running a campaign, I post every day.
Right.
I know. I get
Single
all the
day,
alerts.
right? And I
Wow.
Like
I feel bad.
I was like, I've never seen. I mean, I think she
I am
posts like in
consistent.
50 different
Hell
places
yeah,
because I get
you
all
have
the
to
alerts.
be.
Bang, bang, bang,
Yeah,
bang, bang.
I'm in.
So
I
it's working
posted
on
a
my
new.
end because I'm seeing all your posts.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you see them. It's funny though. I had someone like a post that I was like, I woke up to 90% funded. That was day 2. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that was over a week ago, and it's just going through someone's newsfeed.
Oh, wow.
So that's my
Right.
point: is the algorithm is not always your friend, and you have to post every
You
day.
do.
So I
Well, you
apologize to
you
everybody who's
jumped
just
to
getting
86. So.
bombarded,
Yeah.
from Laurie Calcaterra. But there's other people that are like, oh, look, Laurie's running a campaign just now.
Yeah.
They're seeing it for the first time.
Wait,
So,
so Sam,
Yeah,
you said
yeah.
somebody
She just
just
jumped to
pledged?
86 from 85.
Nice.
oh, thank you.
So here's the deal with Laurie's campaign, and I've been keeping tabs on this because I want this card. So every
The
50
poker card.
backers, every
Yeah.
50 backers, you're doing a poker card, right?
Mhm.
So right now we unlocked one. So at 100, you unlock the next one. What
Yeah.
can you tell us what we unlocked so far?
Well, so far we have unlocked the last previous campaigns we've unlocked 5 cards. And now I didn't come up with this until I think campaign number 3, and it wasn't
Right.
until the end of the campaign. So we
Right.
unlocked cards for end of 3, 4th campaign, and the trade paperback, and now this one. So we have 6 cards unlocked total, but the last 5 have been hearts. And what's interesting, if you look at the hearts, it's Jude St. Clair. We did the 9 and 10 of hearts, and I have designed the little, I don't know what you call them, pips. I think they're called a pip.
Okay.
Is that no?
last
Maybe
night's
that's on
pips?
dice, but it's the heart, right? But mine is stylized because it has the EKG line that goes through it, like it's a
Oh,
disc,
nice. Okay.
right? And so Jude, and like it's about the living, right? That's that suit. And now we have jumped over to spades. And the first one that we unlocked was Big James. So now we have the undead having their own suit. And so and there's
Sick.
2 more suits that we haven't revealed yet.
Mm.
So you know what I mean? Like, so we're gonna unlock more spades this time. If we unlock all 4, which I don't know if we'll get there, that's 200 backers. But if we unlock all 4, I will release the ace of spades
Okay.
for this
Oh,
one as
that'd
well.
be
But
nice. So
that's
now
a good
listen.
goal to push for.
So listen, we're all friends here, and we're talking like we are friends because we are. But the people watching may have no idea what
Oh,
we are talking about. So why don't we go to what do we tell them exactly what Path of the Pale Rider is?
good.
Because it's a dope title, but it's also a dope comic book. So tell us a little bit for the like 500,000th time. What is Path of the Pale Rider?
Sorry, guys. Like, poor George and Sam have heard my pitch. I don't know,
Do
500
it. I love it. No, I love it. Go for it.
So, Path of the Pale Rider is a world where death has been broken. Your body can die, but your soul or your energy doesn't leave your body upon death, which means you get to hang out and enjoy your own decay phase. And so we don't have flesh-eating zombies, but we have people that their brain is literally rotting in their skull, and they lose their memories. They can become violent. They can become chaotic or vegetative. And it's people, animals, insects, fish, everything. So death has been broken. Okay. And then, so things have devolved back to the Wild West. We're 10 years into this apocalypse, and we're following this cowboy named Jude St. Clair, who's the last guy still looking for the answer. So we're 5. This is issue 5. So we've answered some questions about what the world looks like. You understand the mechanics. You've seen the trauma that pushed Jude St. Clair out the door and into, basically the apocalypse. And issue 5 picks up, and it's a wild ride. We're going to answer more questions that you've been looking for, like what does Dwayne Fink know? Dwayne Fink is he's the town drunk that Jude has been looking for. Yes, in the town of Santa Claus, which is at the center of that map. And we're going to find out what he knows. We're going to see some familiar faces. There's going to be some very complicated scenes that you might have to read a few times, George. That first scene that with Jude, there's like 3 different things moving at the same time. And all of this, I have a brand new artist as well.
Yeah.
So
what a welcome to the new artist.
Yeah.
Right? Like
that's a funny story because Marco DeFeo is an incredible artist. Yes, and if I could keep him through all 36 of my issues, I would. He just he's taken off. Like, he has some opportunities that are knocking on the door. And when he and I talked about it, I was just like, you can't say no to something like this. I wouldn't. And I don't, it's a business decision, and he and I are still friends. So there's not, there's no hurt feelings here, but I needed to find another artist. And so when I was interviewing Gilbert, I didn't tell him that it was Path, because he has actually read Path, right? So he and I met at Cowtown Comic-Con last year. Awesome. When it was a little bit slower, and he was walking the floor as you do. And he came over, and he's also a part of Charter Comics. And so he's like, I've heard your name come up in some circles. I was like, oh, Gilbert, I've heard your name as well, that, you're going to do some stuff for Charter. Chris Hayes talks very fondly of you. I can't wait to see what your work looks like. And he was like, I'm really interested in your story. So he bought everything I had at the time. Nice. And so he was in, right? And he was like, I would love to work together sometime. If you have variant covers, I'm interested in doing that. And I wasn't going to have variant covers for a long time, because we had just launched issue 4. And so I had all my variants for 4, and I knew we were doing trade paperback next. So I was like, there's only one cover for the trade. I was like, why don't we do a pinup? And I can use that as merch, for the campaign. Read a few times. Yeah, you're going to have to read the next scene a few times. You will. And that's why I made this cup, Hugo. Tears of my readers, because y'all are gonna come for me at the end of this one.
I almost came for you at the end of 3.
Yeah, that too.
I almost came for you at the end of 3.
That's kind of my trend. So anyways, Gilbert, when I was asking him, I was like, what are you looking for, if in a project, if I were to offer you a project? And he was like, well, I want something that's ongoing. He's like, I've done a lot of one-shots, which are great, but you want that job security. Yeah. He's like, and I'm also looking for action. He's like, I've done a lot of like beautiful scenes, a lot of dialogue and conversation, but I want somebody that's going to push me as an artist. And so when I was like, I'd like to offer you, the pencils and inks of Path of the Pale Rider, he flipped out. He was like, oh, awesome. My God. And then he read the script, right? And he's like, I was like, be careful what you wish for, especially because you're walking into issue number 5. And if you've read 1 through 4, you know what a crazy ride it has been up to this point. And this one, it escalates real fast.
So Laurie, let me ask you this. So I know that, and big shout out to Marco, because we had him on the show.
Yeah, it was a great show. I went back and watched the replay, mind you.
He's awesome. Yeah, no, he's awesome. But I know that he had a lot of input when it came to drawing the book, because your script and actually I was showing the graphic novel. I went to grab it, because at the end of the graphic novel, you actually put the script that you wrote,
movie script,
in the form of a movie script.
Yes.
So I know that Marco was kind of converting the movie script into a comic, and so he did that. Have you changed the way you wrote 5 and wrote it more traditionally for the new artist, Gilbert?
Yes. Okay. So Gilbert hasn't done as many projects as Marco. Right. He's still, just earlier in his journey. Mm-hmm. And so when I asked him, I was like, do you feel comfortable? I'm like, this is what Marco has been doing. He's been working off this script, but we talk through it and then he thumbnails. Yeah. He was like, I would be more comfortable doing the comic book script method. And that's fine. I know how to do that because I write other things like Psycho Sal, and I did BDI 14. I did something for Big Dog Inc. in that style. So I can do that. It's just this one was written prior to me even knowing it was a comic book. You know what I
Right.
mean? When I wrote
Yeah.
the script, I was in a production company.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I did. I rewrote issue 5 into comic book
Oh,
script.
okay. All right.
So, and I actually just finished that yesterday. So
Nice.
I
Nice.
did like a few pages and then we talked about it. I did a few more pages and we talked about it. I was like, I'm just doing the rest. So
No,
yeah.
and the reason why I asked that question too is because you were obviously you're doing your rounds, and I heard you were on, I think, JD Calderon's show on
Mhm.
Sunday, and I watched the replay just today, and you were talking about how you can draw. You have a
I have a
degree,
fine
like
arts
you
degree.
have
Yeah.
a fine arts degree, and you made the point, and it is a good point. Being a fine artist doesn't automatically mean you can draw a comic.
Yeah, did you
Because
see me try to like go after that guy? I was
yes,
like,
I did.
I need to
I did.
address this JD. And he
I
was
did.
like, all right, calm
I
down.
did. I did. I don't know what that was all about, but yes, I did see that. I did see that. And but it's true. It's true. Like people think, oh, I can draw, so I
Same.
can draw a comic. Drawing
No.
a comic book, it's a different world. Like sequential art is a whole different ballgame. And you have
Yes.
to know how to do it. And I got to give props to Marco, because as I'm reading because I reread the book today just to
Oh,
get
did
ready
you?
for this. Yeah, I realized how good he was at doing that.
Mhm.
And I'm sure Gilbert's going to do a great job. I'm just saying, I just wanted to give
Yeah.
him props and give you props for letting Marco kind of say, all right, go for it, dude. And even the coloring. And I want to talk
Yeah.
about the coloring, because issue number 1 wasn't colored when I first got the book.
That's
You
right.
hadn't colored it yet. So for those watching, if you didn't get the first issue colored, you can get it here, right?
So the actual the black and white version, I have 8 of them left.
Ooh.
And that's it. We're not reprinting black and white. So if you're interested in one of the the limited edition black and white issues number 1, you can still get them. You just got to talk to me directly. But yeah, so if you want to add on a color issue number 1, that's what the add-on is at this point. People that are getting the ketchup tier, like ketchup. I think that's funny. They're getting issues 1 through 5 all color. So
Okay.
yeah, that's how far back we go. Isn't that funny that
Yeah.
you got a black and white
Yeah.
issue? Sam
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
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 But your colorist
Matt
has done an amazing
Chambers.
job. There's a page, and I don't know if I'll be spoiling anything when I open it up, but there's a page where
What?
I think he kind of goes rogue and kind of just, and I don't know, you tell me if this is something that he did on his own, or it was part of what you wanted him to do, because I think it's one of those pages where like there's a lot of blood splatter. There's a lot of blood in show writing. So, you know what I'm talking about? Okay, so there's a scene where
is it the end of 1?
No, I lied. It's 3. Where Jude Sinclair is talking to Fink, right, about his first dead person that he encountered.
At the end of 2, where the first
yeah,
flashback happens.
Yes.
Yeah, and I
I
wish the
forget his
guy with the
name.
truck.
Yeah. He says his name was Frederick. What's his name?
Frederick Needlemeyer.
Needlemeyer. Yes, Needlemeyer. Needlemeyer doesn't know he's dead. So he goes to the doctor and he says, "Hey doc, maybe this is why I'm dead."
Yeah.
But on that page, you mind if I show it? Is it okay if I show
Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
So this is the scene right here. But what I noticed was the blood splatters on the page.
That's Matt.
Right. Those weren't there in the original, correct? He added that. Did you
Matt
guys
added that? Yeah.
Did you guys talk about adding things like that in the coloring, or was that something that he kind of surprised you with? And you were like, "Oh, dude, go with it."
Yeah, he'll surprise me at times. He'll be like, "So I did a thing," and I'll be like, "You did a thing," and he'll be like, "Do you want to see the thing?" And I was like, "Show me the thing." And so he shows it to me. And he's like, "Do you like the thing?" I'm like, "I love it." I trust my artists. I really do.
That's good.
Where they're like, "Can I explore?" I'm like, "Absolutely. Go have fun."
Yeah.
If they're excited about it and they're passionate about the story, great stuff comes out.
Right.
100% of the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, just do it. And if I hate it, I'll tell you. But most of the time I love it. I love it.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah, no, that little touch really made, you know what I mean? Like the artwork is great, and obviously, Marco did a great job, but you added those little things.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Marco's sense of humor is in Path of the Pale Rider, if you guys look hard enough, because there's things that I didn't write into the script that Marco is putting in the background that are super funny. Like in issue number 2, when we're in Santa Claus, there's a saloon And I couldn't remember if I had to cover it with the word bubble or not, but he had a freaking singing bass on the wall. And when he signs things, he drives this little gremlin with his signature sometimes. It's this weird little, so he had framed a gremlin on the wall in the saloon. So there's that. And like the jail cell, it's a dilapidated building. It's the apocalypse. So there's the cell that they put Jude and Dwayne into, and next to it, there's a tree going through the building. There's a toilet up in the tree. And I'm like, why? He's like, because it's funny. So you just have to look around, you know, in Marco's 4 issues, because there's stuff there that's just spot on funny.
Yeah.
Hey, Sebastian.
Yo, what's up, Sebastian?
It's
yeah,
me.
you know, there's also in that same issue, in issue number 3, when that whole scene with Niedermeyer.
Niedermeyer at the hospital.
What I love about also, I mean, and we're over here like waxing poetic about Marco. Let it get to your head, Marco, if you're watching. But there's this one scene where there's the reaction of the doctor. She's like, what the hell's going on? But it's shot from inside Niedermeyer. Inside his stomach, looking out. You know what I mean?
That was Marco.
Those are the things. Yeah, those are the little things. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But yeah, that was Marco too, where he was just like, he's always looking for a dynamic way to tell the story.
It's good. Yeah.
And so he would change the camera angle, and like seeing her expression from through the body of Frederick Niedermeyer's wound.
Yeah.
As you can see, I think it's hilarious. I thought it was so fun. Like Marco's a great storyteller. And one thing that he really, there's one left. There's only one left of those Funkos. If someone wants it, you better grab it. There's only one. And that's all I make. I only make them for the Kickstarter. Anyway, but Marco's forte was definitely the emotion. You know, when you're looking at the characters, even when they're quiet, the trauma that happens with Jude's family when the 3 of them are together in the beginning of 4, I almost cried. And I was like, I feel so terrible. And I wrote this thing.
I hate, and I want to talk about a lot of this stuff.
No spoilers.
But you're right. I don't want to spoil anything. But
it's so good, people.
The way he, and I could probably tell you this after whatever, but like, there are scenes in the book that he draws, and it's like, holy cow, that was brilliant how he did that without it being, because there are things that, gore, whatever, but there are things that he draws where like it's done tastefully, if that even makes sense in a gore written story, right? Like
in issue 4, there is some self-harm. But the way that Marco did it was very powerful.
Brilliant.
But like you said, it was tasteful.
Yeah, it's almost like that Psycho scene where like you never see her getting stabbed, but you know she's getting stabbed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what that was like, and it was really, really well done. It was.
I had the pleasure of watching his process.
Oh yeah,
and you know, because we sat together at Comic Palooza, and he's a perfectionist, so I watched him illustrate something from start to finish, scrap it, and redo it.
Oh hell!
He erased the whole damn thing and redid
the whole thing.
Yes.
What are you guys? I was watching the episode that he was on. You were like, dude, you erased that whole page.
That's crazy.
He was like,
that's freaking nuts.
That's insane. But that, you know, he loves the game. He loves the game, and he knows that anything he puts his stamp on, he wants it to be his best at that time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I mean it shows through the work in Path of the Pale Rider, because he really loved the project.
I'm laughing because on the show that he was on, he was like, yeah, Laurie's bothering me about this deadline. I totally was. He is that perfectionist, and when he does covers, he puts his heart and soul into it. But I'm like, God damn it, I gotta build all these graphics. You know, for the Kickstarter, I need it. And he turns it in like the day before I launch. And I'm like, I'm going to kill you. Like,
yes. So Seabass has a question.
Out of love, though. Out of love, Marco. I'll kill you with love. Because I need that cover. Which, did you see the cover that he did?
Yes, I did.
Amazing. And then after I had released it, he was looking at it and he was like, I think I can do this better. And he went back and touched it up.
I saw that because the first version that you posted is different from what you have on the. I was like, oh, the second version that's a lot better.
Yeah, but that was him. Like, I can do that better. And I was like, I got, like 2 people gave me some feedback about the bug, and he was
Yeah.
like, I can do that better too. And he did.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But
Good
that
on
was
him.
just amazing. A lot of artists are like, here's my cover, bye.
Yeah.
Like I've already been paid, bye. Marco
And-
was like,
and,
I can make it a little bit better.
But
I
you
can
know what? But
it up."
that's the right attitude to have, because at the end of the
Mhm.
day, it's your name on that
Yes.
cover.
Yes. Yeah.
So why not? If you can touch it up and you're okay with touching it up, why not? Like, it's
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
name on the cover. You know what I
And
mean?
like I know, sure. Get better.
Yeah. So, Sebastian had a question. So what's
Yeah.
tough? What's tougher? Writing the outcomes of characters at the time you write it, or is it rereading it once you are done?
Writing the outcomes of characters at the time you write it, or is it reread? Like having them. For me, writing the trauma is not hard. I'm just like, kill them. Like find them. Burn the town down. Rah, rah. But when I see it on the page, when the artist, for example, what Gilbert is working on right now is a tough scene. And when he put it on paper and I looked at it, I was like, people are going to be I'm devastated by what he drew. And then when I go put the bubbles in with the words of what these people, the emotions they're going through, people are going to be real upset. And that's where I have a hard time, is when I see it visually, where I'm like, oh, it's real now,
You know what? Going through what we went through in 2020, right? The pandemic,
Yes.
right? That was as real as it got, right? And there's a character in the book that says a line that really, really hit me, because
I'm not telling you, Hugo.
she's handicapped, right? And
Yes.
she says, obviously, if people know, if they've been watching your videos, that there's discord within the undead and the dead, and they're being taken away from their families and all this other stuff. So that's not a spoiler. That's just what's going on in the world, right?
Right. We've talked about that.
Yes. There's a scene where one of the characters, I won't tell you who, says the line, "I don't want to be alone."
Yeah. How do I communicate?
Yeah.
I will be
But-
I won't be able to communicate. I won't know what's going on, and I'll be by
Right,
myself.
because she uses sign language,
'Cause
and
she
she
communicates
says,
with sign
"I
language.
don't want to be alone." And that line, with
Yes.
everything that we've been through, just resonated. You know what I mean? And as I read it, I was like, wow, like it brought me back to that time, that we went through. So you did an amazing job at writing this book, and there are a lot of scenes like that. Within the gore, within the funniness, there's all that other stuff. You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's
And
why
that's what I like.
we try to balance it with some humor,
You
like the
go.
Dwayne Fink moments, and
Right.
this slice and dice where I dress up as Pikachu and I smash pumpkins. You know what I mean? Because we tackle so many difficult things in the comic that we can't just stay in the dark. We can't stay in the dumps. We could. I mean, it's so easy in life to focus on just the negative, but there is a message of hope behind all of this, which is Jude St. Clair and his resilience, his determination to put things right, and eventually the power of blank, which I can't tell you.
Way to go. Way to go.
You'll figure it out when when he starts meeting more characters. You'll figure it out. But yeah, it's the single light in the darkness kind of meaning in the story, the perseverance of humanity, being empathetic to others, because it's like we can so easily forget the humanity of others.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it happens a lot.
Now,
So
let me ask you this, Laurie. I know that you have strict rules in your story. I mean, it's a little you die, but you don't die. And
right?
you know what I mean? Like Big James was shot in the head, and all of a sudden he's alive. Well, no, he's undead.
He's undead.
So my question is, as you were writing it, right? As you were writing the story, was it tough to not break those rules for convenience? I'm saying for
not
convenience.
for convenience.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, you're like, okay, I'm dead, but damn, this scene is not going to work unless I do this. Did you ever have those moments where you're like, all right, maybe here we could break it a little bit?
No. Okay. So there are some rules that are broken, but it's specific to the story. So the further we get, you're gonna, or read the Choose Your Own Adventure book.
I did. It was good.
Because there's things that happen in there that you're like, wait a minute.
Right.
None of this has been talked about in the main storyline. We just haven't gotten far enough in the main storyline. But
Mhm.
there's other things that will happen that will make you question the rules and who gets to follow them and who doesn't.
Right. See, that led me to my
But
next
I don't
question.
break them for convenience. If I break them, it's because of plot and
I
we're moving
figured that.
the story forward.
So
Yeah.
in the first book, and for those who haven't gotten Path of the Pale Rider, go to the link in the chat and make sure you pledge to the campaign. It's live right now. When does it end?
11
July
days.
7th. We have
11
11
days.
days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the first book, Jude encounters a little boy and says, tap,
He
know,
says tap it. Yeah.
tap it to make sure that he's alive, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when he goes on further onto his journey, he meets a woman and a little girl. My question is, how come they don't have that?
They're
Are you
isolated.
or is that going to be answered later on?
No, they're just in an isolated situation. They don't like people, so they don't it
They
just
don't like
depends
people.
on where you are. And
Okay.
that's kind of the thing about Path is you're going to see people that look very much Western, like you did in issue number 2 when they go to Santa Claus. They're decked out in the Western gear. You're going to see people that don't look like that at all. You're
Okay.
going to, and I mean, like, we picked Western apocalypse genre as kind of our catch-all, but the further we go into the story, it is not. It's not. It becomes other things. So you're going to see different things depending on where Jude goes. And yeah, some of the characters don't wear discs. The collectors don't wear discs either. Did
Right.
you notice
Yeah.
that?
Oh, that's true. Yep. They don't.
Because they're above it. They're above the law, those ones. So they don't need to.
Mm,
But I mean, like 10 years into the apocalypse, people are just trying to survive.
right.
They
Right.
might have their discs, maybe they're broken. Maybe they don't work anymore. Maybe they ran out of batteries. Maybe it got wet and you know what I mean? Like the
So
child probably was not alive when the discs were passed out.
okay. So for those who are watching and maybe have no idea what the hell you're talking about, a disc.
Yeah.
What
Sorry,
is
guys.
what is the disc? What is the disc within the
So,
story?
okay. So in Path of the Pale Rider, you could totally be yourself and still be undead, right? And yeah, you start to decay, but we tackle the problems in front of us. So I guarantee you someone is creating a makeup and embalming method so that the undead can pass as human for longer. Maybe covering your face and you know what I mean? So the indicator then becomes the heartbeat. And so there was a question of, how do you classify whether you're undead or not? Well, the government took the next step and was like, everybody wear one of these. We can activate, you have to activate it when approached by law enforcement pretty much. And then when you activate it, it's a heart monitor that you wear on the outside. And so it will light up. So if you're living, it lights up green. It has the EKG line that goes across it. And it has the audio of the heartbeat. So boom, 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 boom. So you get visual and audio clues that this person is alive, right? And then if they're undead, you tap it, it would turn red, it would flatline, and it would alarm. It also stays alarming until you put it on a heartbeat again. So it's basically an alarm like, come get me, I'm undead.
Right.
So that's kind of the indicator. But again, it's technology. We can hack technology. Technology can break, it can malfunction. So it's best intention is to help figure out who's alive and undead, but it doesn't always work. And it can be a lie. The undead resistance can teach you how to hack a disc, and you can be undead and wearing a green disc, and maybe you're pretending to be alive longer than you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm afraid to read those Choose Your Own
You can
Adventure.
die on page 4, Sebastian.
Assuming they haven't hacked, otherwise adjusted. Yeah.
Yes.
Many
Yes.
times in the book you mentioned maybe you ran out of batteries. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things.
It's government issue. It's cheap. They don't,
So
you know what I mean?
how did you come up with the idea for the disc? Like when you were writing this story, like where did that idea come from? Like how did you come up with it?
Well, that was part of the world building process, and I was like,
Yeah.
how would we tell the difference if we have undead that are still in their right mind and they're trying to stay in their community longer? Because again, when the government passes a decree that undead can no longer live in certain communities, they come disappear you, and that can cause major problems, especially for your family. Like if I'm a single mom and I'm undead, but I have 2 kids, where do they go? Who's going to take care of them if I get
Right.
disappeared, or vice versa? What if I have a child that's undead and they're going to come disappear my child.
Right,
Like that's a major problem, right? And so they're hiding undead in the community, and they're trying to pass them as living because there's an anonymous phone number you can call to turn in your undead neighbor. It's really a dark place if you think about it. So I was like, how would we know? What would the government do? So that's when I kind of went through like, okay, well, government would start first. They would start taking away rights. They would, curfew. You can't own property. You can't drive. You can't vote. You can't have firearms. Like that would be like the first level. Like you can't take away some of your rights. But then there would be pushback. There's always pushback. Then it's like, okay, we need to be able to identify you. So everybody needs to wear this. And plus, if you're living, you still need to have one because when you turn undead, we can find you on day one just by tapping your disc, right? So we don't have to wait for you to become chaotic and run over somebody with your car. That was the thought behind it. And then it was like, okay, now we're going to collect you and we're going to take you to the undead retirement community, whatever that looks like. So there's just, it's like, what's the progression of what the government would do? And of course, all of this is based off of my research of history. Not happy history, but it's all this stuff has happened before. Maybe not the disc per se, but wearing identification, imposing curfews and laws, separating people, anonymous phone numbers. We still have anonymous phone numbers. You can still anonymously call in your neighbor here in Texas.
Right. No, it's a well thought out book. I mean, again, I can't wait to see how far are we going? Like I know I know you're going to do a few of these with different covers, and every cover is going to have a different character and stuff like that. How many do we think, how many are we trying to get to here? What's the number?
The story ends in 3 arcs. Each arc is currently 12. Now, if I can start, I don't know. I haven't decided if I want to play with the number or not, because let's say my Kickstarter, and this is just hypothetical, people, I'm talking this into existence, right? Kickstarter turns in 20 grand. Well, I can afford to maybe produce 2 issues at the same time. So instead of doing 12 issues, we do 6. You get twice the amount of story in one book, and that would be, fine. But, we're doing 12 for the first arc, and then we'll reassess. But the goal is to have the 3 trade paperbacks for the 12, and then probably an omnibus for the 12. But then there's 3 sets of those. I'm 2/3 of the way through the second arc. It needs some adjusting here and there. I just reread it today because I let Gilbert go read it, because he was like, wait, we're introducing who and what are they doing and what is this about? And I was like, you got to read like into the second arc, dude. And he was like, dang it. So I was like, well, let's read it. So I read it through the second arc today, and I was like, gosh, I need to finish this. So I have I'm on issue 21. I'm probably just wrapping up issue 21, and then 22, 23, 24 closes out that second arc. There's a giant battle I have planned, a lot of moving parts, so that one takes some time just planning it out, but I have most of it set up in my head what I want to do. And then there's going to be a third arc to close it out, but there is an ending. There has been an ending since the beginning, because I'm under the belief that stories are better when they have a specific ending. Because every issue moves us towards that ending, and not just, I don't know what we're doing today. We'll talk about undead fish. That's boring. I don't want fluff. I don't want sidebars. I want people to get to the end. What was that? I think I've seen those undead living spaces. Folks call them call centers. That's where you go to die inside, Hugo. So 36.
36.
If we continue to do it this way, then it will be 36, but it's the 3 arcs. So if we were a Netflix series, it would be 3 seasons.
3 seasons. Okay. All right. I like that. Yeah, Laurie. Well, listen, what is your favorite, what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Chocolate.
Okay. No, which out of all the tiers that you have on your campaign, what's your favorite? What do you recommend for somebody who maybe just for the first time watching this and watching you? What is the best tier for that person?
What is the best tier? Well, I make so many different tiers for people.
Right.
You know, if you're new, look at the ketchup or the mustard tier. That's either the individual issues to catch up or the trade paperback plus issue 5. I have really nice t-shirts, and the new one is hilarious. It's a green shirt with the black banner. It has the old Oregon Trail covered wagon, and it says, "You have died of dysentery," and Big James, and then there's Big James roaring in the corner. I have hot sauce on my campaign, which is another long story, which if you want to hear about it, you can watch some of the other pods I've done. But I have 3 flavors now. You can pledge just those, or you can put them as add-ons. But the hot sauce has more than doubled from the last campaign. The first campaign I did, it was like 3, I want to say, and 6 bottles went out. Trade paperback, 12 bottles went out, and on this one I'm up to 33 bottles ordered, and we have 11 days left to go.
Wow.
So I'm gonna be making lots of hot sauce. So that's great. I mean, you can have your comics and read and eat good food at the same time, because why not? The Funko Pops are almost all gone, so if you're interested in collectible Funkos, that's a good one. I have retail tiers. I have a secret reward.
You do
right
secret
now,
rewards for everyone, right?
I do have a secret reward for every campaign, and they're always something different. And you have to be brave enough to just trust me because you don't know what you're getting, but they're usually a little warped, or they're, you know, it's something related to the campaign, and they're handcrafted by myself. So it's not like I'm buying you something and sending it to you. I'm handcrafting. Like I woodwork. I work with metals, and I 3D print and paint. So it's something that I personally am making, and I only make like a handful. This one, I'm going to make one for myself this time because it's so cool.
Wow.
So yeah,
and,
so I mean,
and they don't know what it is. Like, you don't know what it is.
No, I don't tell people what these are, and I change them every campaign. So they fluctuate in price depending on the materials I need and what I have planned. And I got a couple things, and I let Gilbert in on one of them that I want to do because he's helping me put it together. So because he's an architect, so trust me, says the lady with "I drink tears of my readers." Yeah, trust me, Hugo, you will like it.
Trust me. Nice.
Yeah. But we have fun. We have fun with the campaign. We have great add-ons. We have temporary tattoos and stickers of Big James as the Care Bear. I have Big James pins. I got Big James just about everything because people love him. I didn't put the koozies on there. I should. Anything that I have like overstock that I used as like a stretch goal, I usually put as add-ons, and then people can grab it the next time. All the poker cards that we have unlocked in the past, if you're just finding us now, you can also add those on. And again, if you come back every campaign and you get a book, you get this poker deck for free, which is super cool.
That is dope.
Once we finish the poker deck, I have an inverse deck. So this one is the white back, drawn in black, and it has like these red beautiful swooshes and stuff on it. If you haven't seen it, go look at it. Scroll down to the stretch goals, and that's the first thing that comes up are these poker cards. But I have a black deck. I have a black deck with white drawing and red swooshes, and it's super cool. So once we finish the white deck, I'll make boxes, and then you'll have the opportunity to get like the collectors. I have super cool stuff planned. I can't wait. I can't wait for people to read this issue. I can't wait to get number 6 out, and then number 7. You've heard me talk about number 7. I have ideas of what we're going to do for that campaign already because I don't want to spoil what's in that issue.
Right.
So I was talking with Pops about it, and what I think I'm going to do is I'll still do variants, but I'm not going to show you what they look like.
Wow.
So you're going to have to go into the campaign and back a cover based off of the artist.
Wow. So just the name of the artist. That's it.
I will probably show you one cover, which will be the A cover.
Right.
But like, I want Marco to do a cover. William Russell will do a cover. And then, I usually switch out, a bunch of people like Everett Watkins does amazing covers. Victor Medina did a kick-ass cover this time. And so I have people, that just are begging me to do variant covers for Path because they love it. So I'll pick you that, but I don't want to show. It's like the Matrix. You remember their marketing where they were like, "What is the Matrix?"
Yes.
Sorry,
Right.
You remember they were like, they didn't tell you anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just made you want to know what the heck.
What
right?
is the Matrix? Yeah.
I cannot show you. I might show you one interior page. maybe two.
Jesus, damn.
Like
Nice.
I can't. It'll spoil it. And it's
Wow.
such a big reveal what happens in 7. It changes everything. So
Damn.
that's why I'm like, I can't show anything. Netflix,
I have ideas for the campaign. Show nothing.
show
That's-
nothing. It's
that's
either that or
those are
like
the
I'll show a
ideas.
corner and I'll be like this. Well, at least you can see what color it is. Like here's this upper corner with nothing in it.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
So you know that it's done. Like I'm not lying to you. There's a bunch of covers done. And I'll swear them all to secrecy. They can be like, back my cover, but you don't know what it looks like.
That's amazing.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Nice.
Well, listen, Laurie, this has been fun as usual for those
Yeah,
watching.
thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah.
I missed you, and I'm so glad that you're back. I'm sorry that your con wasn't the best.
Ugh,
That's always a risk, but
it was
sucks.
bad. It
Yeah.
was bad.
I was back in the back just shaking my head like, nope.
It wasn't good for a lot of people.
I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. It wasn't like it was just bad for like Sam. Like it was
Yeah.
bad for like a lot
Everybody.
of people.
A lot of people.
Yeah, everybody. Well, yeah. I mean, it was just insane. But
I'm
but
so
no,
sorry.
listen, I'll probably be in Texas next year again. So you better come
Cool.
out.
You're
and
gonna come to
we can hang.
Texoma? We should do Texoma again. I think
I
it'll be-
do want to go to Texas.
Bro.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a fun one.
I
Yeah.
gotta sign up sooner so that I'm next to Sam and William Russell instead of by myself down by
In the
the.
boondocks.
Yeah.
in the back.
It was like,
Jeez.
ain't nobody down here all by
Well,
myself.
that's Mike. That's the deal clincher. I told what's his name?
Chris.
Chris. I said because he wanted me to do Cowtown, and I did it 2 years ago, and I was like, look, if I do it, put me next to William.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I said that's the only one we're gonna do it. You just gotta make sure that I'm next to you. It's like because he has a lot of energy and all that.
Yeah.
So
it will help you stay energized
Yeah.
too. He's just so funny. He makes me laugh. He just takes
Yeah.
the Mickey out of everybody.
yes.
Oh yeah. We're Texoma was good. I'll make sure I sign up for that one earlier, and I'll ask to be put next to Sam.
Yeah.
Can you put me down by Sam, please?
It'll be a party.
Yeah, anytime Sam and I are in the same place, I'm like, put me next to Sam.
Are you doing Cowtown?
Yeah, I'm gonna be at Cowtown, and I was like, because last time they stuck me like around the corner, and I was like, Lacey Kruger is there, William Russell is there, I was like, Ken Salinas is there, and I was like, I have variant covers from all of these people. Why am I not over there? And Chris
Right.
was like, beggars can't be choosers, and I was
Oh,
Damn.
like,
Oh, bueno.
So this time I was like, Chris, I'm signed up for Countdown. Please put me where the guys are. And he was like, okay, we'll see. And I'm like, fine, there. I'm going to be upset.
Yeah. Yes.
Nice.
Chris.
Chris, if you're watching, I love you.
I said, Chris, you know what I do on the show? Make sure we're next to each other.
Yeah.
So it's great having you again. Thank you for
Yes.
coming
Thank
on.
you. Yeah. I love your guys'
Congratulations.
show.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
best. I always,
Thank you,
I
Laurie.
usually am having a good, obviously, talking about a bad con. I'm not laughing in the back, but
Adeli says she can't find big.
yeah,
James Bond.
it's the thing is, Arlise, is that we did that one already, and we have to keep moving forward. So when we get
she
to the
said
end,
you snooze, you lose.
it stinks though, because people have been asking for
wow.
that Big James pop, but the
Wah,
promise always
wah.
is that they're exclusive, and I usually only make 5. And so it would stink if you were like, there's only going to be 5 being made, and then Laurie was like, I'm going to make 50 more. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's
Oof.
not, unfortunately, it stinks. But we did that one as the second one. We did Jude, and then we did Big James, and then we did Dwayne Fink, and then Callie, and then. But that I might talk to the studio when we get a little further. We might rehash the Big James and maybe change up the design a little bit.
Yeah,
and
if you
bring it
change the
back.
design, it's still exclusive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just because I know people want that one. Everybody loves Big James, but pop like Fresco pop, yes. So I mean, at some point, if people make enough noise, I will do it. You know me. People want hot sauce, sure, I'll bring it back. Oh, you want more hot sauce? Sure, I'll bring in 2 flavors. You want more Big James? Sure. Buttons, stickers, tattoos, hats.
Jesus.
I just bring it all. So we have really cool hoodies. Dude, I
Nice.
just bought a t-shirt press. I'm gonna be making these myself.
You
this
did.
time. I did.
Yeah.
You got me beat because that's my
know, that's what
that's
Sam
my
was gonna
next
do.
year investment.
Is it?
I'm gonna retrofit my garage to be able to do my own t-shirts.
Yeah. I found the place. We'll talk. We'll talk afterwards. I found the place to get the shirts. It's quite the place.
Cool. Awesome.
And I have a hat press, so I do my hats already. I just
Oh.
I threw some up there on the campaign. I have hats for the died of dysentery and Big James as well. I adopted the red one myself, so you can't have it. You gotta fight me for the red one.
Okay.
I was like, I like this one. It's mine now.
Nice.
But I got lots of other colors of hats, so they're the cool trucker hats. So just go walk around the campaign, see what you like. I did make the jigsaw puzzle available as an add-on as well. So there's
Awesome
cool stuff.
Awesome.
Love it.
Dysentery hat. Look.
Time to update my pledge. Oh yeah, there they are.
It has I'm trying to do it. It's going to disappear, but it has the Oregon Trail.
Oh
You
yeah.
died of dysentery and Big James. And there he is, Big James in the corner.
Big James. Nice. I'm happy that you did that. You got
Nem is here in the chat. Nem is like, did you know you can make your own video game on this place? And I was like, excuse me? So I'm trying to learn that too. Nem, you might have to give me a walkthrough though. I got there and I found some cool stuff and I don't know how to piece it together. I gotta do some YouTube tutorials.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Fantastic.
Awesome, Laurie. Listen, thank you for coming by.
Yeah.
And,
thanks for having me.
We're gonna keep chatting.
Anytime.
Sam, I'll see you soon.
Yes.
Oh, guys, I'm gonna be at Geek Out in Burleson on Saturday.
Oh wow.
So you can always come visit me and say hi.
I'm working Saturday.
Not you. You're like, no, Laurie, no, I see enough of you.
Can't go.
But if anybody cares to come to Burleson and Geek Out, I will be there pretty much all day on Saturday. So be hanging out with Charles Boyer.
Awesome.
I may or may not have cookies.
There you go. Thank you again, Laurie. And congratulations again.
Thank you.
Got it. Peace.
Later.
So that's Laurie Calcaterra. Again, the link is in the chat. It's also in the summary. Go check out Path of the Pale Rider. You can get all issues 1 through 5 and a whole lot of hot sauce and cool stuff. It's pretty dope.
Nah, she does her thing, man. She does her thing. She's funded, but stretch goals are always fun to have. And you got to remember when all is said and done, sometimes some pledges don't go through. So pledge. Keep pledging. Let's go get some more not trading cards, playing cards. So that was fun, man. Good stuff. It
was fun. Yeah, and I'm glad Marco updated that cover because the updated version looks a whole lot better.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But no, yes, there's a lot of great cover art up on there. Looks really dope.
Heck yeah, man.
Really cool. Yeah, man. So it was a packed full night. We had a lot to cover.
Yes.
Who do we got on next week? Let me see. Hold on a second.
I thought Laurie was next week. I don't know why I thought she was coming in at the end of the month.
No, next week we have, let's see, July 2nd, we have David Howard.
David? Oh, yeah, Nem.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Nem, that's what's up. All right, so we'll have him next week. Awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
There you go. So so next week we'll be back with with them and some really cool hot topics. And and don't forget, your boy's gonna be at the Texas Latino Comic-Con July 20th. It's a one-day show. I'll be there. It's gonna be dope. I'm excited about it. I don't have to stay at a hotel. It's not a 5-hour drive. So it's really cool. So I'm excited about that. So go and check that out. And if you haven't checked out dudysworld.com, go ahead and do it and check out my art channel. If you haven't subscribed to this channel already, please do so. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up. Let the algorithm work for us. Share it with friends. We created Catch the Craze podcast in 2005. We're the first independent comic book podcast and the longest running. And we do this because we want to spotlight the independent creators out there because there's so much talent out there, and we wanted to be the voice of them. So we are the OGs, and so lots of great content on the show. We appreciate everybody in the audience tonight. George, where are you going to be? Where can they find you?
Next month. Feel sorry for Sam and George. They have to interview me. July 20th, the same day you'll be at York Con. I will be at Plastic City Comic Con in Massachusetts. So come check me out there, July 20th. I'll be there. It's a one-day show as well. Big shout out to Keith Gleason for putting that together. And then August 10th and 11th, I'll be at Wicked Comic Con. Go to wickedcomiccon.com. If you're getting tickets at the checkout, make sure you put the promo code Get Your Meds, one word, Get Your Meds, and you'll get 10% off. So that's all I got. And
yeah, man. So I
was a good
appreciate
time.
every single one of you in the audience. There's so many of you. But thank you again for watching today. And if you're listening to us on replay on any of the audio platforms, leave a comment, rate us, or head over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel, because when we grow, the independent community grows. With that said, I'm Sam, the crazy man, Vera.
George the Chiba Medina.
And we are out.
It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy.
Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. I met him.
Say my name,
Right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh, my God.
He described me. He said, I'm the
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze. This is Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.
girl.